everybody. Welcome back. We're talking with Colin LePage right now, Haverhill City Councilor, an incumbent who's running for re-election for his second term. Welcome to the program, Colin.
No, thank you very much, Frank.
You know, can you tell us what in your first tenure as a city councilor, what do you think was the thing that you came away with most, that was most important to you, that you didn't expect, that you didn't anticipate as a city councilor?
I guess it's been a very big learning process. I feel it's been 2 years, been 2 quick years, but I think I finally got a really good understanding of it. Not to say I didn't when I wanted to become a counselor, but there's a lot of details and dynamics that you don't fully understand, department heads and how things actually work. So coming to City Hall, I visit department heads an awful lot, trying to get an idea of how the inner workings of the city is, instead of just seeing something on paper and stuff like that. So it's taken some time to do that, to get relationships with folks and have a good understanding of who to ask questions of and how to get information.
Can you tell us what some of the things are that you've been involved with during your tenure as a councilor that you can point to as an accomplishment?
The biggest one would be the single stream curbside recycling. I ran on that 2 years ago. Before that, I had been with Team Haverhill and still am with Team Haverhill. Researched it for quite some time. Wanted to bring it to the city. Researched it. Even after my election, there was still some doubts about if it would be a viable program. Went through, did a little more of a investigation, gave some more details, and now we have it. We've had it for a year. We've saved over almost $250,000 in the first year. We've budgeted for another $250,000, so it's almost a $500,000 savings, and it could be even more. We're still not participating at even the state average. We've increased our recycling rate by 50%, but we went from 10% to 15%. The state average is 36%. If we did that, we could save over $500,000 every year, and we could use that money for other things. As the taxpayers and you are well aware that the financial shortcomings that we have at the moment. So if we can not spend the money literally throwing it away as trash, if we can do it elsewhere, we can spend it on other things that keep other viable services here.
How do you intend to be able to boost people's participation in that? I will tell you that I know that when you're talking about single stream recycling, that's where you put the different things like the bottles and the cans and the newspapers. You can put them all together, and that's okay. It took me, I'll tell you, I know that we've done programs before in the past, it took me a while to get used to the fact of being able, well, you've got to separate the cans from the guys. No, you put them all together. And I just felt very awkward after separating them for years and years, and okay, I put them all together, I'm doing that. After I was able to get over that hump, how do you get other people to go ahead and participate in that? I mean, is it a mandatory type of a thing where, I mean, are you going to have, as in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where you have trash police go around and take a look and see what do you have in your bag, and if that's recyclable, then you could get a citation or a ticket if you don't put it in a recyclable container? Well, how do you get them to do it?
Well, first of all, you don't have to put them all together. It just makes it more convenient for folks. They can still do it. The city wasn't providing that service before. Everything except for paper was not being picked up. So that was part of the reason to get the participation up. Now, by putting it all together or a separate, they do it now. Capital actually, when they go out with this program for the past year, has been going out and putting down information. They do look in the barrels to make sure it's recyclable, and they'll put little stickers on to remind people that that's inappropriate to put in here or something else. So there are folks that have been getting these stickers throughout the course of the year to help and educate and inform them. The city was one of 2. It was actually 3. It was only now one of 2 in the Commonwealth to get a state grant for recycling. So I'm not sure when this is going to air, and I'll be bringing it up soon in front of City Council, but the folks are going out again to see what our baseline average is for recycle rate and trying to see if we can increase that. Again, we want to kind of educate folks and do that without being so-called trash police. The idea is just to educate and inform. It's happening in the schools. I've been in contact with them. They ordered an awful lot of supplies as far as bins and such, and they have programs called the Green Team through the Mass DEP just to help and inform people. I find a lot of people doing this. A lot of people tell me that they have found that they now have 2 barrels and they have 1 barrel of trash. That they've turned it all around as far as how much there is, and that's what the average is. That's what the national average is. 2/3 of what we don't want anymore is recyclable. So I think we're going to have that program. People will be coming out more, and we'll be a little more telling people about it, a little more informational and getting people to do it. So hopefully they'll see the results. I think everyone wants to. I see the...
Okay. Okay. Okay, Colin, you've discussed some of the things that you've accomplished in your during the term that you happen to be in. office, and that's fine. What compelling things do you think you might like to focus on and have happen if you're reelected to a second term of the Haverhill City Council?
Well, I'd like to keep looking at the budget and what we've been doing. Again, it's very tight, and there's some things that happen, but some things don't always get through. We sometimes appropriate money that there's not follow-up as far as if it actually has been spent on a few items. So I'm getting into that a little bit and learning. It's not a very simple, like at home, at my checkbook, and I can just know what money came in and what came out. There's so many different streams coming in and going out, and really spending a lot of time being an accountant a little bit to find out these things. The efficiency of how City Hall is, I think that they've done some wonderful things, but I think there's still some more. I think with recycling and other things, you need to look at things with a different eye a little bit, sometimes a different perspective. I hadn't been in city government before. I've done volunteer work with nonprofits and such, in business, doing manufacturing and such, so I have a little bit of a different way of looking at things versus it's always been this way. My dad used to work for the city of Newton, so I kind of get that. I ask him a lot of questions on how things were done. He was a civil engineer, and how he did things and how it was done in the past. So he kind of, you know, I'll run things about him as far as the projects, the flood wall and the Route 125 project, and I'll ask him how things are, so then I can ask those questions of the engineers in the state and what's happening, the construction on the Ward Hill Connector and 495 Bridge and stuff like that. So I try to get some insights from outside all around to ask questions and have an idea. I think it's a lot more important to keep asking questions, because I don't feel I know everything unless I ask the questions.
Very good. Colin LePage, running for your second term as a Haverhill City Councilor. Thanks very much for being with us this evening. We wish you the best of luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you very much, Frank.
We'll be back.